The South African road network comprises of 555,000 kilometers of surfaced and unsurfaced roads, of which 420,000 kilometers are not surfaced. Current road maintenance policies call for the expenditure of hundreds of millions of rands annually to continuously gravel and re-gravel these unsurfaced roads. These policies do not benefit the poorest of our citizens who are worst affected by a bad roads infrastructure.
I'm sick and tired of this dirty road.
The dust is too much. We had it enough now.
How and why is this money spent? To replace the gravel that is lost on the wearing course involves the use of expensive machinery to produce the material in quarries, transport it to the road, and then to place, work and compact it. Sadly, in spite of these high costs, it can take as little as one rainy storm to destroy this effort, leaving communities without access roads. Not only is it the inconvenience of having to use bad roads, but higher vehicle maintenance costs are also unacceptable. On top of all this is the fact that gravel is a diminishing natural resource that is irreplaceable and becoming more difficult to source by the day. In fact, these vast sums of money that are continuously spent, never achieving a permanent outcome, could be much better utilized for the provision of low-cost bitumen seals that create a maintenance-free sealed surface for 8 to 10 years, resulting in lower predicted life cycle costs than the re-graveling option and furthermore producing an incomparable permanent end result. So, what can be done? The solution? Chipseal surfacing from Tarfix, the future for gravel roads. A revolutionary method for surfacing gravel roads has been developed by Tarfix. As well as being proven, it directly addresses the challenges of job creation. Up to 62 people replace the activities that would normally be carried out by machines and a few skilled operators. The Tarfix Chipseal method is uncompromising in the production rates that can be achieved in a day, but probably even more important is the fact that unit costs are comparable to the cost achieved by mechanized methods, and this in spite of the use of very high numbers of labor. Here in the Limpopo province, near the town of Mokopane, a road base that was constructed by more than 100 laborers was surfaced with the Tarfix Chipseal method. The Chipseal innovation is the combination of a high-quality semi-priming elastomeric polymer modified bitumen binder onto which a graded stone aggregate is placed by means of hand-operated chip spreaders. This high-quality binder is not sensitive to low road surface temperatures for application and was developed in South Africa for South African conditions in the mid-1990s. The Tarfix hand-operated chip spreader, or Chippy as it has fondly become known, was developed to convert the construction of this high-quality seal for gravel roads from what was previously a mechanical operation into a labor-based operation. And when we say labor-based, we mean it. The patented Chippy not only gives employment opportunities to large numbers of unskilled workers creating sustainable jobs, but also provides real empowerment opportunities to small emerging contractors. Chippy is available for sale commercially as a unit to road authorities and contractors in general. With years of experience in the field of empowering small contractors, Tarfix forms joint ventures with local contractors and assists with the securing of the binder, the graded stone aggregate, the chip spreaders, the know-how, the technical support, and also with the provision of training. How does Chipseal work? Firstly, the road is selected and if necessary reshaped and compacted to achieve good drainage and rideability. This can be done by conventional mechanical means or, for example, as with the base of this road near Mokopane, prepared by means of labor-intensive methods. As was done here, it may be advisable to improve the quality of in-situ base materials by means of chemical stabilization and/or the addition of bitumen emulsions. Once satisfied that the road base quality is good enough for surfacing, it must now be swept clean of any loose material. This is done by means of hand brooms, and depending on the amount of loose material on the surface, anywhere between 6 and 9 people are engaged at any one time. The next step is to lightly water the surface by either using about 6 watering cans if a nearby source of water is available, or alternatively by using a conventional water tanker with spray nozzles. This is done in order to break the surface tension on the road base so that good adhesion and priming of the binder is ensured. From here, things happen relatively fast with the chip seal method, and the binder is in the meanwhile being heated to the required temperature of 135 degrees Celsius. The distributor now moves into place and the binder is applied at a rate of 1.8 liters per square meter. After a 20-minute waiting period, it becomes very tacky and is now ready to accept the stone chips, which consists of a blend of readily available 6.7, 9.5 and 13.2 millimeter stone aggregates. Don't be surprised if some of the residents start showing excitement because of the events taking place on the site. Back on the road, the hand-operated chip spreader, or chippy, kicks into action. For each machine, it is recommended that 3 pushers and 1 guide be responsible for the chipping operation as such, while 6 workers with wheelbarrows continuously feed each machine with stone from the stockpiles, thus totaling 30 workers for this part of the operation. A further 9 workers are responsible for loading the wheelbarrows at the stockpile, and when 3 chippies are being used simultaneously, it may be necessary to engage up to 6 workers with brooms, squeegees and the likes to carry out the traditional back chipping exercise. The back chippers will generally ensure that any unevenness in the stone carpet is smoothed off to ensure an even surface. If it is not practically possible to offload the stone aggregate at convenient spacings along the road, then 1 or more TLBs can be used to bring aggregate closer. The cost of this exercise per square meter is almost negligible when compared to the increased production achieved. The final step before opening the road to traffic is the compaction of the stone carpet. A number of options arise here, ranging from small pedestrian-type steel drum rollers, steel drum ride-on rollers, or pneumatic rollers. A combination of these 2 types probably gives the best end result. 2 or 3 passes with the steel drum will generally suffice to push the stone into the binder and ensure proper adhesion. However, if the road is immediately open to traffic, the effect of vehicle tires in essence replaces the function of the pneumatic roller. The chip seal road is now ready and can be opened to traffic. It is important to remember that the binder will remain alive for a long period of time, and that in the early life of the road, it would be advisable to introduce a reduced speed limit. It is also recommended that during the first 2 to 3 weeks, the loose stone material be swept back into the wheel tracks and to cover any spots that may be appearing to be rich in binder. After this 2 to 3 week aftercare period, any loose stone that may be still lying on the surface can be swept off. At this time, it can already be seen that the binder is settling down and that it is becoming quite difficult to dislodge any stones from the matrix. The chip seal road is now complete and will last for 8 to 10 years with very limited or no maintenance. For aesthetic reasons, it may be advisable to apply a diluted cationic fog spray to blacken the road instantly in urban areas. Should this be required, a 50% diluted emulsion can be applied at a rate of 0.8 liters per square meter. Clearly, it is no longer necessary to continue living with unacceptable standards and conditions arising from poor gravel roads when Tarfix Chipseal can be applied so economically. Money spent on permanently surfacing gravel roads brings about much improved socio-economic circumstances for the communities that are worst affected and improves roads infrastructure for the country as a whole.
So if you look at the government's projection or idea of the expanded public works program, to maximize employment, chip seal would be an ideal activity to have, which sort of merges in with the economy and the current focus in terms of the government policy.
But this is not where the application of the Tarfix Chippy technology ends. Many of the surfaced roads need resealing, and often, when high-quality new road bases are constructed, these surfacings are constructed using single, double, and Cape Seal applications. The exact same principles are applicable as for the chip seal method. Here in Langsburg in the Western Cape, a double seal was constructed using a cation emulsion bitumen binder together with 13,2 and 6,7 mm road stone. Due to the size of the project, the binder application was done by a small hand sprayer, accompanied by only one chippy for the stone application. First, the road base is swept clean. Due to the low temperature of the emulsion binder, a hand sprayer can be safely used for the application of the binder. To speed up production and to avoid delays, drums containing the emulsion are preheated at strategic points along the road while the spraying operation is being carried out. The chippy is now employed to spread the first layer of stone, to be followed by a second tack coat and second layer of small stone aggregate. Workers load the wheelbarrows at the stockpiles and continuously feed the chippy during the spreading operation. Each layer of stone must be separately compacted, and small walk-behind pedestrian-type rollers achieve the required result. Once the final compaction has been completed, a diluted fork spray is applied. Where non-pre-coated stone is used, the fork spray helps to lock the surface and to prevent any stone loss from occurring. The well-known Cape Seal is an application of a single-size stone with a chippy onto a bitumen binder, followed by 1 or 2 layers of slurry that can be applied by laborers. Once again, the Tarfix Chippy technology allows for employment opportunities to those members of our community who need upliftment most. The reallocation of portions of existing maintenance and capital expenditure budgets, along with the adoption of Tarfix technology, can create hundreds of thousands of sustainable job opportunities, all for a better South Africa.
I feel that this application could mean a lot for the future of this country's roads.
Tarfix, improving roads and lives permanently.